and then led to these valid experiences. But from the point of view of one's own personal kind of development of conviction, it seems the order is reversed, that one must first begin with some kind of personal experience. Say, for example, in the case of reflecting upon the four axioms, or the empty nature of phenomena, or maybe thinking about the benefits of the qualities of altruism and so on. Unless one has some kind of taste, some kind of personal experience, a glimpse of that, there is less chance that the person will be deeply inspired to carry on. Of course, when we talk about spiritual experiences, there are different levels, there are different degrees. There are profound levels of spiritual experiences and realizations that which I, for one, may not have, but there is also kind of a more initial levels of spiritual experiences which we all have. For example, in my own case, when I think about the virtues and merits of compassion and altruism, as a result of the thought processes, I feel deeply inspired, deeply moved, and this kind of deep inspiration and moving experiences then increases my own admiration towards the masters who personify these great spiritual values and teachings. And then one can also begin to appreciate and also begin to believe that perhaps there is something in the biographies that are of the great masters, where there are narrations, there are accounts of profound spiritual experiences. Of course, when we talk about anecdotal stories, when we talk about biographies, of course, one has to accept the fact that there might be, in some cases, exaggerations, particularly biographies of lamas or masters written by their own disciples. Perhaps sometimes there is an over-enthusiastic presentation of the gurus or the master's spiritual qualities, but still, one cannot dismiss the whole class of biographical. For example, in relation to this point about exaggeration, His Holiness was saying that sometimes when I read very sophisticated commentary written by a great scholar on a short text written by one of his masters, the commentary is so sophisticated and detailed and comprehensive that one begins to even wonder, did the author of the original text, the short text, really knew all of this? So let me carry on with the translation. So His Holiness was saying that, once you have some taste of your own personal experience, when you feel deeply inspired and moved, then you begin to develop deep admiration in the kind of the life of the great masters who embody these spiritual values and teachings. And then, of course, I personally find this way of approaching the teachings very helpful, so that you begin from your own personal experiences, that there is some kind of basis within yourself.
And
the 8 verses of training the mind by Langri Thangpa is a training for the development of the altruistic aspiration. So these 8 verses of training the mind by Langri Thangpa is a teaching on the practice of bodhicitta, the altruistic intention to attain full enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. That wish to attain enlightenment arises on the basis that, it is for the sake of sentient beings that one must attain full enlightenment.
샴페인으로 타도 버리셔. 샴페인으로 빼자 치시들이셔. 다가는 신기 빼 닝도 타도 버리셔. 남주 타도 버리 락지셔.
So one could say that this bodhicitta, the altruistic intention, is the highest level of altruism.
저름치 런시면 나올이야. 샹든 주베, 샹든 조르 주베, 랑든 샤람 주바 사드리샤.
As Lama Tsongkhapa says in his great expositions of the path to enlightenment, bodhicitta is this altruistic intention is such that as you are engaging in fulfilling the wishes of other sentient beings, one's own self-interest are achieved as a byproduct in the process. And in a way, one could say this is a very wise way.
I think really wonderful, very wonderful. So the more sort of, I think the stronger feeling of the taking care of other, oneself get immense benefit. Oh, that's something very wonderful. I think very good. 다른 식다 장주성 편성이 되잖아요. 아니 장주성 샴페인으로 되지 결하잖아. 현다게 배다 초 상상 전에 배서 초 시부직다 가서 우리 배 깔래져가 되디 이 장주성이 초 줘야 대라도 조용해. 루주가다.
If we think about the qualities, the positive qualities and the merits of bodhicitta, the altruistic intention, we find that one could say that bodhicitta, or the development of altruistic intention, is one of the most effective means by which one can accumulate merits, one can accumulate the positive potentials, one can enhance one's positive spiritual potentials. Overcoming negative impulses and enhancing positive potentials is really the essence of the spiritual path to enlightenment. So one could say that it is one of the most effective, one of the most powerful spiritual practices.
다가는 신기 아다 자본금 아다디 참명 나라리야 년절 남는 도지신 투리 남는 접던 그것이 매번 전기에 상주선을 찬사로서 쉽지가 봐. 년절에 타야 돼 뒤치기 하래. 가서 그게 간다 미기 주분 그 추중기 년절에 타와 치기 하래. 아다 전주 그 심기 다 년절에 타와 제약이 배탑 가서 미기 주분 그 추중 배 연줄 동주를 하고 지 네가 차례도 와.
And also Maitreya states in one of his aspirational prayers that it is this bodhicitta that can free us from migrations into lower realms of existence, and also it can lead us to higher fortunate rebirths, and this is also the path that can lead us to the state beyond death. And what is Maitreya saying here is that the practice of bodhicitta really surpasses all forms of ethical practices or morality. It's a far superior path. It's like a technique that is so comprehensive that it contains the element of all other practices.
아니 닝도라 닝도 보면 샤베 있나 차고 네 루주관들 지시하는 소는 시리 아니 사도 추的매달로 맨도 배 신신도 다도甚至他们就랑갈 감이 제자셔스甚至나로 쏴시 달라다 체방쇼 달라다 딩미지 다게 말로 되면쇼 그래서 쉬우도와 닝도 쉬우도와 돼
In Nagarjuna's precious garland, he says that just as earth, the element earth, fire, water, and wind, and so on, and just like the physical universe, the environment, which are being utilized by all sentient beings, may I too be servant to all beings. May I always share my own wealth, positive qualities and so forth with others. May I take upon myself all the negative characteristics, aspects of other beings, including their pain and suffering and so on. So one can see that in the ideal of bodhicitta, in this altruistic sort of ideal, we can see tremendous amount of courage reflected in this practice.
第二的罗经理，给我他说的，给我经理给是嘛的。